All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. You hear this word thrown around all the time, right? But what is it, really? We're going to cut through the noise and get to what actually matters: the story, the tech, and the really powerful idea behind it all.
And, this quote, it really gets to the heart of the whole thing. It suggests that Bitcoin isn't just another app or a tech stock. It's a movement, an attempt to fix money itself. Now, that's a pretty bold claim, so let's unpack where that idea even comes from.
To really get Bitcoin, we actually have to start somewhere else. Before we even talk about code or blockchains, we need to understand the problem it was built to solve. We need to look at the money we use every single day. Think about it. For most of human history, money was, well, something real. We started by just trading stuff, the barter system. Then we used things that were valuable and rare, like shells or salt, then precious metals like gold and silver. Eventually, we got paper money. But here's the key. That paper was just a receipt. It was a promise you could trade it in for actual gold sitting in a vault. But then, in 1971, something huge happened. The US dollar was completely disconnected from gold. All of a sudden, our money was backed by, well, just a government's promise. And that's where the problem starts.
And this is the fundamental flaw that Bitcoin was created to address. When a central bank or a government can just create more money whenever they want, it waters down the value of the money you've already saved. That's inflation. It's why your grandparents could buy a car for a price that wouldn't even get you a new phone today. So, if you want to fix money, you have to take away the ability for one group to control the money printer.
So, out of this frustration with the old system, a completely new idea emerged. It came from the shadows of the internet, proposed by a creator who, to this day, remains a total mystery. So, back in 2008, a white paper just shows up online. It's published under the name Satoshi Nakamoto, and it lays out the blueprint for a brand new thing: a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And here's the crazy part. Nobody knows who Satoshi is. A person? A group? We still have no idea. But their invention, it took on a life of its own.
Bitcoin went from this abstract idea on a screen to something you could actually use, all thanks to a couple of pizzas. Seriously, in 2010, a programmer made the very first real-world purchase with Bitcoin, paying 10,000 of them for 2 pizzas. It proved the concept could work. And get this, at today's prices, those would be by far the most expensive pizzas in the history of the world. Just mind-boggling. So how does this thing actually work under the hood? What makes it so different from, just sending money with Venmo or your bank app? Let's look at the core principles that make Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin.
Okay, the biggest difference really boils down to this. Traditional finance is centralized. Your bank is in the middle of everything. They're a gatekeeper, and they have all the control. Bitcoin, on the other hand, it's completely decentralized. There's no CEO, no headquarters, no one in charge. It's a network run by all of its users together, and every single transaction is visible on a public ledger for anyone to see. Now, this number is maybe the single most important thing to understand about Bitcoin. It's not just some random figure. It's the absolute core of its design and its entire value proposition. So, that number, 21 million. That's it. That's the total number of Bitcoins that will ever exist. It's hard-coded right into the system. Remember that problem with governments just printing more money? Well, this is the answer. It's programmed scarcity. No one can change the number. This is exactly why people started calling it digital gold. It's finite, just like a precious metal.
So let's just pull all these pieces together, right? It's decentralized, so no one can mess with it. It has a limited supply of 21 million, so it can't be inflated away. That makes it a potential store of value, that digital gold idea. And because it's a global network, you can send it to anyone, anywhere in the world, fast, without needing a bank to give you the okay.
Okay, so these are some cool tech ideas, for sure. But this isn't just an experiment anymore. This is having a huge real-world impact, and it's changing the financial game as we speak. Check this out, because this really puts things in perspective. Right now, the number of people using Bitcoin is about the same as the number of people who were using the entire internet back in 1999. Think about that for a second. If Bitcoin's growth continues on a similar path to the internet's, well, we could be on the verge of something absolutely massive. And it's not just individuals getting interested. The big dogs on Wall Street are really starting to pay attention. I mean, take the CEO of Goldman Sachs. He once reportedly dismissed Bitcoin, but now he's on record saying it represents a reserve of value. And they aren't just talking a big game. Their firm is now a major player, investing in things like Bitcoin ETFs. The tide is turning. You can see this shift happening across the board. What used to be a fringe curiosity is now being taken very seriously. Governments are busy creating rules for it, not trying to ban it. Giant corporations are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets as a reserve asset. And with the launch of Bitcoin ETFs, billions and billions of dollars from mainstream investors have flooded into the market. It's a clear signal that Bitcoin has arrived. So what began as a radical idea in a little white paper has exploded into a global financial force, one that's challenging everything we thought we knew about money. It really seems like we're in the early innings of a fundamental change in how our financial world works. And that leaves all of us with a powerful question to chew on. If the rules of money are being rewritten right before our eyes, what role are you going to play?